as we continue our journey with 6/8 Oath for Service. This is part 4. And in the past, we did the first couple of parts were do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with our God. Never do for the poor what they have or could have the capacity to do for themselves. And then last time we did limit one-way giving for emergency situations only. And today we're going to take the topic on of this idea to strive to empower the poor through employment, lending, and investing, and using grants and gifts sparingly to reinforce achievements. So what does all that mean? We're going to look at lending. In lending, it establishes this mutual relationship by creating 3 powerful experiences. This idea of responsibility, accountability, and respect. When we have a lending relationship, it leaves the dignity of the borrower intact. It doesn't take that away, that they have something to offer in this mutual relationship. Individuals living in poverty, often we see this around the country. We also see this right here at 6/8. People have come. Often people living in poverty could benefit from a very small loan. Maybe it's a relatively very small loan. Maybe it's for a car or a repair on a vehicle so they could get to work, or a security deposit if they were homeless in order to get into an apartment, or maybe some funds that have a micro business or a small startup business in order to help themselves out and through poverty that way. The question that we have at this Rises is we see micro lending or small lending work around the world in different parts of the world, but does it work in the United States? Will it work in our country? And for micro lending to work, it has 3 things that it needs in place for it to work: a strong work ethic, entrepreneurial instincts, and stable support systems. So looking at the strong work ethic, right? Nothing affirms the human dignity more than an honest work. And on the other side, the surest way, I believe, to destroy self-worth is subsidizing idleness for an able-bodied person. If we take away that gift of work is truly a gift, and it gives us purpose and meaning. I get to see this I have seen an example of how this works personally, or family and friends, or even volunteers that come into 6/8. When you look at folks who are recently retiring, I know several people, sometimes they go through this like small depression time until they discover another meaningful work that they put their lives into. And so you can see that as people exit the workforce, when they lose that purpose or production in society, or that help in society, that we lose that dignity. And so in order for that micro lending to work, it needs that strong work ethic. It needs to be there. The entrepreneurial instinct I see in our country, and then locally here too, each year it's harder and harder to start a business. There's more regulations, there's more permitting, it's extremely difficult to start if you don't already have outside capital, or you don't come with funds yourself. And so that instinct to start your own business and be creative and take a plan and bring it to a dream and bring it to fruition is just lacking, right? It's waning as we make it harder and harder to do so. And the last thing is this stable support system. Family and community support is vital for survival in developing countries. People need community to survive. And families pull together, kids get involved, the children help, elderly parents help with childcare, etc. In the family support system is there. We see farmers combining their efforts, or local merchants forming co-ops and bringing that energy together. That community support is vibrant in developing countries. We can see that across the world. Family and community support systems, I believe and I see, are declining in the United States. It's making that added risk of jumping out and taking a loan or taking on a new risk just more and more difficult to take because of those support systems aren't also in place to help each other out. And also we see many charities that their supports have been set up in such a way where there's separation and increasing separation between the giver and the receiver. really just missing an opportunity to strengthen that local community support system. When you have individuals from across socioeconomic lines coming together and serving each other, that builds that community support, and that risk, that people are willing to take a risk to help themselves and to leave, that system has decreased. When even charities miss that opportunity of bringing the giver and the receiver together. So sadly, therefore, I think that micro-lending is going to be very difficult, or this idea of micro loans or small loans is very difficult in the United States. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't creatively try, right? And creatively work to make it happen. 6-8 is working to archetype what we are calling the parachute fund. If we're encouraging individuals to, take a leap of faith and take a leap of what they already know to the unknown of risking what it takes to help themselves out of their situation, risking in order to reach financial stability. We felt that it would only be right to provide, if you will, a parachute to make the cliffs and the challenges that we will face more manageable. And so this idea of this parachute fund, it could be used maybe as a low interest or a zero interest loan for folks for whatever a variety of needs that are living in poverty, that will help them, their journey on stepping themselves through poverty and to reach that stability. And maybe even possibly having a forgiveness program where portions of the loan could be forgiven when achievements or benchmarks are made by the individual who the loan happened. So that's what we're trying to venture out at 6-8, to take this oath seriously, to strive to empower the folks we're helping to serve through lending that way. We'd love for you to offer your comments and your own ideas on this below in the comments below. Share it with individuals. Again, if you haven't seen the prior topics, go back and watch the other videos. They're on our website, makingservicepersonal.org. Oath for Service tab there. And then again, I think I've said before, this whole idea we borrowed from Robert Lupton's book, The Toxic Charity. I encourage you to go out and look for it and read it. We do have copies here at 6-8. You can borrow them or take them and share them. So go do that, help us, and then continue with us as we have the next couple of points coming up. So in the end, let's make a commitment to serve our neighbors and to serve them well, to serve them in a way that helps and doesn't harm, in a way that transforms both of us. Thank you.